Welcome to the 16th video of UG Academic on Python. Today, we are going to talk about another very important concept in Python object-oriented programming. It's called inheritance. So what is inheritance? First, let's create a class called animal. The animal class is defined like this. This is the initialization function, and we initialize two attributes for the animal class object. And then this is a shout method, which will print out its voice. And then this string contains a raise not implemented error. You may not know what this means for now, but you will see very soon. Okay, so since we are talking about inheritance, then we are going to create a subclass of animal, which is going to inherit the animal class. So what is inheritance? In real life, we often have many categories of objects. Some of the objects are superclass of other objects. For example, animal can be considered as a superclass. Then we would like to create a subclass for animal. And then the subclass is called cat. So we all know that cat is a type of animal, right? So we create a subclass cat which inherits the animal class. And the syntax is like this: brackets, type in the name of the superclass, and then close brackets. Then this cat is inherited from the animal class. So let's have a look at the cat class. First, at the initialization function, we often call the super here. The super function here means that it will return the superclass put in here. And then we call the initialization function of the superclass, which is actually these two things. But somehow we would like to override the attribute assigned here. So for animal, it's a very generic class, so we don't know what the voice is. So we are just put 3 dots here. But for the cat class, the voice of a cat is meow. So I put a meow here. And then also here, we have defined the overloaded function for string for the animal class. However, it's not implemented. It means that it will tell the subclass that we need to implement this function. However, since we are not going to directly use the animal class, so I simply put it here as a reminder, and then put a raise not implemented error here in case we call this function from a subclass and then without implementing it. Since we need to implement this function in our subclass, so I put it here. You can also treat it as an override of this like abstract function, empty function without anything. So this function is going to return how many years old cat, like this. It's a very simple function using the type conversion and then string addition we mentioned in previous videos. If you are not familiar with those, you can go back and have a look. And then we can also add new methods to this subclass. For example, I add a new method for this subclass. It's called catch mouse, which means that we can call this function only on the cat class, but not on the animal class. Which means that this function is specifically for the cat class. For animal class, we only have these two functions. You can also notice that the animal class have a shout method, however, the cat class do not. But actually, it is implicitly inherited from the animal class. That means that the cat class also have a method called shout. It is not defined here, but this is the power of inheritance. Actually, the goal of inheritance is for code reuse, which means that it helps us to reuse code we previously write in a systematic and easy to understand way. So here, we do not need to write the shout function for the cat class because we are reusing code from the animal class. If you are going to use create many class, which is also a subclass of animal, we only have to write the shout function once. So we can reuse the shout function for every subclass of animal. Okay, now let's have a look of how this is going to work. First of all, let's just create an instance of the animal class and an instance of the cat class itself. Then we are going to tell them to shout. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, you see when animal shouts, it prints out the 3 dots here, because yeah, its voice is defined as 3 dots only. And then for cat, if we call shout, since we override the 3 dots here in the cat initializer, so it print out the meow here. Okay. After talking about shouts, let's try to use this string overload, the string function overload here. So you just directly try to print out A and C. You directly call this overloaded function, trying to convert it to string. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, you see, not implemented error, which means that the animal class is not supposed to be called directly. The overloaded string function in the animal class is not supposed to be called directly. It has to be overridden and implemented in the subclass. Here, the cat is the subclass. So you will encounter a not implemented error here, raised by this raise command here. So let's just comment out the irrelevant things. Since this line is going to cause an error, so we also comment it out. Let's have a look. See, a 1-year-old cat. As you can see, although yeah, there's nothing special here. Okay, then we'll go to try to call the catch mouse function. Okay, it's expected because the catch mouse function is only defined for the subclass. It's not defined for the superclass. The subclass can inherit from the superclass, but yeah, the superclass know nothing about the subclass. So this line is going to cause the error. We just comment it out, and then everything's work. So this is a very brief overview of how inheritance in Python work. Basically, the main goal of inheritance is to save your time of writing the same function, repeat it again. For example, if we are going to create many kind of animals and all of them know how to shout, then we are not going to write the shout function many times. Instead, we implement it in the superclass, and then all the subclass inherit from the superclass, and then obtain this function automatically. So sometimes in Python, we may want to decide whether a class is a subclass of another class, or whether an object is an instance of a class. So I would like to introduce two potentially useful functions here. The first function is instance. It's return a Boolean value and take in two arguments. The first is the object and the second is the class. If the first object here is an instance of the class put here, then it will return true, otherwise false. And then similarly for the subclass here, if the first argument is the subclass and the second argument is the superclass. If the first argument is a subclass of the second argument, then it will return true, otherwise false. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, both true because C created here is an instance of the cat class, and then cat is a superclass of the animal. Is a subclass of the animal superclass. Let's try if we put A here, and we exchange the position of animal and cat here. Now you see false because A is the superclass. It does not belong. It's not an instance of the cat class. And then animal is the superclass, and a superclass is not a subclass of the. It's not a subclass of the subclass, of course. So how about if we put animal here, and we put C here? Oh. Okay. As you can see, although C is an instance of cat, but however, since cat is inherited from animal, so cat is also a type of animal. So if we use instance for C and animal, it will also consider the C object as an instance of the animal class, but not directly. It's actually through the cat subclass. Okay. So that's all for today.